Hey everyone, welcome back to the BS Coins Wood channel where we turn pocket change into serious cash. I am so excited for today because I am about to tell you how a plain old quarter could literally make you a millionaire. You heard that right, one single quarter, not a bag of them, not a roll, not a treasure chest, just one little 1995 Washington quarter. Now, before you start flipping over your couch cushions and shaking your car seats, let me tell you this is the real deal. Today we are diving deep into the magical world of the 1995 quarter and why one of these babies recently sold for a jaw-dropping $1 million. Trust me, you are going to want to watch this all the way to the end because not only will you learn how to spot a fortune hiding in your spare change, but I am also going to share a personal story of the time I almost threw away a coin that could have paid off my mortgage. Spoiler alert, I cried a little bit. First up, let's talk about the basics. The 1995 Washington quarter was minted in Denver, hence the little D mint mark right under Washington's neck. If you have never noticed that tiny letter before, do yourself a favor and check it out because that little guy can mean big money. Now here is the thing, the vast majority of 1995 quarters are just regular everyday quarters worth, well, you guessed it, 25 cents, maybe a little more if they are in mint condition, but nothing to write home about. It all comes down to a perfect storm of factors. We are talking about a coin that is in absolutely pristine condition. We are talking about a coin with insane eye appeal, sharp, strong details, perfect luster, and absolutely no signs of wear. It is what collectors call a top pop, meaning it is one of the best known examples in existence. This particular 1995 quarter graded at an almost mythical MS-70 by a top-tier grading company, and that is basically the coin collector's version of hitting a home run into outer space. And because of its perfection, its rarity, and the fact that high-end Washington quarters are becoming hot commodities in the collecting world, it fetched a massive price when it hit the auction block. Now, I know what you are thinking. All right, smart guy, how do I find one? First thing is condition. If your quarter looks like it has been through a blender at a truck stop, it is probably not the $1 million winner. You want coins that are sharp, shiny, and flawless. Think of the quarter equivalent of someone stepping onto a red carpet in a custom-tailored tuxedo. Second thing, check that mint mark. You are looking for the D under Washington's ponytail. If it says P for Philadelphia, still cool, but not our jackpot today. Third, you want to look at the strike quality. Some 1995 quarters have weak strikes where the details are a little mushy. We want a quarter where you can see every tiny line in Washington's hair, every letter crisp, and every feather on the eagle looking like it was carved yesterday. That means sending it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They will examine it under high-powered microscopes, wear white gloves, and basically treat your quarter like it is the crown jewels. If it comes back with a high grade, you might be sitting on a serious payday. And look, even if it does not hit the full MS-70 jackpot, an MS-68 or MS-69 coin can still bring in hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Not too shabby for a coin you pulled out of your change jar. Right, a few years ago I was helping my grandmother clean out her garage. You know, the usual dusty Christmas decorations, rusty lawn chairs, a questionable collection of empty pickle jars. Anyway, we found this old coffee can stuffed to the brim with loose change. I mean, it was like finding pirate treasure, except instead of gold doubloons, it was sticky nickels and grimy quarters. Being the coin nerd that I am, I insisted we go through every single one. Well, after about 2 hours of digging, sneezing, and arguing over whether a quarter was pretty enough to keep, I found a 1995 quarter. Now, it was not perfect. It had some scratches and it looked like it had gone a few rounds with a belt sander, but for one split second my heart stopped because I thought, what if? Long story short, it was worth exactly 25 cents. Maybe 26 cents if you count sentimental value, but the moral of the story is the treasures are out there. You just have to look. And hey, it gave me a story and a sneeze attack. I will never forget. The 1995 Washington quarter can absolutely be worth $1 million if, and it is a big if, it is in perfect, uncirculated, flawless condition. So next time you get a handful of change at the gas station or dig through an old coin jar, do not just toss those quarters aside. Take a good hard look. You never know, you might be holding a tiny fortune between your fingers. And hey, even if you do not find $1 million quarter, you might discover a hidden passion for coin collecting, one that could lead you to even bigger finds down the road. If you enjoyed hanging out today and learning how coins can literally change your life. Make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. We have tons more tips, tricks, and real stories coming your way about coins worth serious money. You do not want to miss it. And if you have a crazy coin story, drop it in the comments below. I love hearing about your finds, and your Mrs. Misery loves company, right? Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep your eyes peeled and your pockets heavy, where your spare change might just be your retirement plan. Today we are diving deep, and I mean Mariana Trench deep, into a coin that could turn a regular old Washington quarter into a jaw-dropping, life-changing $1 million miracle. You heard that right, folks. A 1994p Washington quarter-dollar coin could be worth a staggering $11 million today. Not bad for something you might find under the couch cushions next to a stale Cheeto and last year's TV remote. Stick around, because I am about to break down exactly why this little shiny disc is worth a fortune, what to look for, and how you can turn your everyday pocket change into serious cash. Plus, I will share a wild personal story about the time I almost gave away a valuable coin without even knowing it. Spoiler alert, there are tears and pizza involved. Alright, so first things first, what exactly makes the 1994p Washington quarter so special? Why would anyone pay $11 million for a coin you could have snagged in your McDonald's change back in the day? Well, my friends, it all comes down to a few key factors: rarity, condition, and some good old-fashioned collector obsession. Let's start with the mint mark. The P you see on the coin stands for Philadelphia. That is where this quarter was minted. Now the thing is, while millions of quarters were struck in Philly that year, only a handful have certain errors and pristine conditions that drive collectors absolutely bonkers. We are talking about coins that are nearly flawless, graded at MS68 or higher by professional coin grading services. Think of it like finding a perfectly cooked steak in a diner at 3 a.m. Pretty much impossible, but oh so satisfying when you do. Some 1994p quarters have been found with striking errors, doubled dies, off-center strikes, or unusual metal compositions. Combine that with perfect mint condition, and baby, you got yourself a coin worth more than my car and probably my neighbor's car too. Now you might be wondering, how on earth can I tell if I have one of these miracle quarters? Well, fear not, because I am here to guide you. First, look closely at the coin. You want sharp details. Washington's hair should be crisp, the lettering should pop like it's in 3D, and there should be no major scratches or dings. Next, check for any weirdness like doubled letters, especially on the word Liberty or In God We Trust. A magnifying glass can be your best friend here, folks. Then there is the luster. That shiny, almost wet look is what collectors drool over. A dull, lifeless coin is gonna have a hard time pulling in the big bucks, kind of like trying to sell a soggy French fry. Nobody's paying top dollar for that. And finally, it is crucial to get your coin professionally graded. If you think you have something special, a certification from a place like PCGS or NGC can be the difference between someone offering you $5 and someone throwing their wallet at you yelling, "Take my money." So picture this, it's 2012. I am moving apartments. I'm sweaty, tired, and finding things I had not seen in years. Old receipts, takeout menus, a sock I thought was eaten by the dryer monster, you name it. I am clearing out an old junk drawer when I find a pile of random coins. I think, maybe I can use these to tip the pizza guy later. I toss them into a little Ziploc bag and carry on with my life. Fast forward a few weeks, I am at a buddy's house. We're eating that pizza, and I hand him some coins for his kid's piggy bank. Later that night, he calls me all excited saying, "Dude, one of the quarters you gave me might be worth hundreds, maybe even thousands." Luckily for me and unluckily for him, it turned out to be a cool but not crazy valuable coin. Still, it taught me a valuable lesson. Always check your coins before you give them away. You never know when you're holding a little piece of treasure. And honestly, since then, checking my change has become part of my daily routine, like brushing my teeth or complaining about gas prices. Back to the 1994p Washington quarter market. Today, friends, demand for high grade rare error coins is hotter than ever. Collectors are hunting like sharks after a surfer. Even lower grade rare varieties are pulling in hundreds and sometimes thousands of dollars, where we turn pocket change into pure gold. Well, not literally, but you get the idea. Now let me hit you with a question real quick. How would you feel if I told you that a regular old Washington quarter from 1993 with a tiny little P mint mark could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.2 million today? Yep, you heard that right. No magic tricks, no secret handshake, just cold hard cash hiding right there in your pocket, or maybe even buried under the couch cushions. Stick around, because today we are Diving deep into the story of the 1993p Washington quarter dollar, the unassuming little coin that could buy you a mansion, a Ferrari, and maybe even a lifetime supply of tacos if you budgeted right. Alright, before we get into why this quarter is such a big deal, let us break it down real simple. First off, what does the P mint mark even mean? Well, P stands for Philadelphia. That is where the coin was minted, and back in 1993 the US Mint was pumping out coins like crazy, millions and millions of quarters came off the presses that year. So you might be thinking, how on earth could one of these be worth over $1 million? Good question, and the answer is what I like to call the triple threat: rarity, condition, and demand. Sure, there were a ton of 1993p quarters made, but most of them were tossed into circulation where they got scratched, dinged, and otherwise manhandled. If you have got one that is still in pristine condition, we are talking about almost perfect, no scratches, super shiny, then congratulations, my friend, you have got something special now. If your 1993p quarter happens to be what collectors call MS68 or better, which basically means mint state condition, practically untouched by human hands, then you are sitting on a tiny treasure chest. Let me tell you a quick story. I once found a 1993p quarter in my glove box. It looked good, I mean shiny enough that I could see my scruffy face in it, but after doing a little homework, I realized it was nowhere near mint state. It had tiny scratches here and there, probably from jangling around with my car keys for years. Moral of the story: condition is everything. A perfect 1993p quarter is like finding Bigfoot riding a unicorn while holding a winning lottery ticket. It is rare, folks, very rare, and here is the kicker: demand is through the roof right now. Coin collectors love a good backstory, and this one has it all. A modern coin that should have been common as dirt, turning out to be rare and pristine enough to command 7 figures. That is a collector's dream. Auction houses have seen pristine examples of the 1993p quarter sell for absolutely wild prices. The latest record has this little beauty pegged at a market value of about $1.2 million. Let that sink in. $1.2 million for something that could have easily been dropped between your car seats. Sometimes errors at the mint, like misstrikes, off-center strikes, or double dies, can make a coin even more valuable, while the big money 1993p quarters are usually all about perfect condition, not errors. If you happen to have one with a striking mistake, you might just hit an even bigger jackpot. Imagine that, finding a coin that the government messed up and now everybody wants to throw money at you for it. Only in America, right? Okay, so you are probably itching to dig through your change jar now, but before you do, here is what you need to keep an eye out for. Look for a crisp, clear P mint mark on the front of the coin. Make sure George Washington looks sharp and detailed, like he just walked out of a barber shop. Check for a super clean surface with little to no scratches or nicks. If you are not sure, take it to a reputable coin dealer. They can grade it for you and let you know if you have struck gold or just have a shiny quarter for parking meters. Now let me tell you about the time I thought I hit the jackpot. I was at a flea market just poking around old jars of coins when I saw a bright shiny quarter sitting all lonely at the bottom of a box marked each coin 50 cents. I almost broke into a full sprint. I picked it up, and sure enough, it was a 1993p quarter. I was about ready to retire early, call my boss and tell him to shove it by a boat and maybe a small island, but when I got it properly checked, it turned out it had a few tiny dings, barely noticeable, but enough to drop the value way down. Still, it taught me a valuable lesson: always check and double check, and hey, I still got a cool story out of it. Plus, I scored a nice quarter for 50 cents. Not bad. The 1993p quarter has become almost mythical in coin collecting circles. It is the classic underdog story, a coin that nobody gave a second glance to suddenly becoming the star of the show. It is like the Rudy of coins: scrappy, determined, and worth millions if you catch it at the right moment. I know some of you are thinking, come on, how does a quarter leap from 25 cents to over $1 million? It all boils down to a perfect storm: low population of high-grade coins, massive collector demand, and the emotional pull of finding something so special in a regular roll of coins that you bought at the bank for face value. If you are serious about trying to find one of these high-dollar quarters, here are a few tips. Hit up flea markets, yard sales, and estate sales. You would be shocked how many people do not realize what they are selling. Buy rolls of quarters from banks and sort through them. It is time-consuming, but hey, it is like getting paid to treasure hunt. Check with coin dealers who might have unsearched or minimally searched inventory. Sometimes they overlook a gem. Keep your eyes peeled. Whenever you get change at the store, you never know what might pop up. Alright, folks, we have covered a lot today, from the minting madness of 1993 to how one little quarter could be your ticket to living your best life. Remember, it is all about rarity, condition, and demand. Finding $1 million quarter might seem like finding a needle in a haystack, but hey, someone has got to find it, right? Why not you? If you enjoyed hanging out today, learning about coins worth serious money, and maybe laughing a little bit at my flea market misadventures, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We have got a ton more tips, tricks, and stories coming your way on how to spot valuable coins and turn pocket change into real wealth. Do not miss out. Hit that subscribe button, ring that bell so you never miss a single tip, and who knows, maybe next time we We'll be talking about the $1,000,000 coin you found. Alright fellas, let me ask you this. Have you ever looked at that loose change jingling around in your cup holder or hiding between the couch cushions and thought, what if one of these suckers was worth a fortune? Well, buckle up, because today we're diving into a Washington quarter from 1990. Stamped with a little D for Denver, that's recently caught the attention of serious collectors. And get this, it's valued at a jaw-dropping $1.3 million. Yeah, that's not a typo. We're talking seven figures. For a coin that most people would use to buy gum or scratch a lottery ticket. Stick around, because not only are we going to dig into why this coin is worth that much, but I'm also going to share a personal story about how I almost tossed away something valuable and how I learned to never underestimate the power of pocket change. So let's break it down. The 1990 D Washington quarter is not some ancient Roman treasure. It's relatively modern. And the D mint mark means it was made in Denver, which, by the way, pumped out millions of quarters that year. Here's the deal. Most coins are struck normally, used normally, and they live a boring life going from vending machines to laundromats and back. But every now and then something goes weird at the mint. A mechanical hiccup, a misalignment, or a different metal gets used by mistake. And when that happens, you get what collectors call a rarity. In the case of this 1990 D Washington quarter, the $1,000,000 baby we're talking about is believed to be a mint error, but not just any error. We're talking about a double die obverse, a rare strike on the wrong planchet, and potentially even a transitional metal mix-up all rolled into one. That combo makes it extremely valuable. Now let me pause here and say this, don't go sprinting to your sock drawer just yet. Most 1990 D quarters are still worth about 25 cents. Some in pristine condition might bring in a couple of bucks from collectors. But the jackpot coin? That one stands out because it's one of a kind. Literally. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my dad's garage. You know how that goes. Dust, cobwebs, a few mysterious stains, and a shoebox full of old coins. I was about to toss the whole thing, thinking it was just junk. But something told me to hang on to it. I threw it in my trunk and forgot about it for, I dunno, maybe a year. Fast forward, I'm chatting with this guy at a flea market, he's deep into coins, and I remember that shoebox. I dig it out and sure enough, inside is a coin he immediately spots as being a rare variety. Not worth $1 million, sadly, but I did walk away with a few $100 from a coin I almost chucked in the trash. Lesson learned. Now the coin that sold for $1.3 million didn't just get lucky. It went through authentication, grading, and made it into the hands of some high-profile collectors. That process matters. You can't just walk into a pawn shop and say, hey, I got a quarter, how about a yacht for it? If you think you have a rare coin, step one is to check for errors. Look closely with a magnifying glass. Are the letters doubled? Is the edge smooth, or read it? Is it struck off-center or unusually thick? Get it graded. That means sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll give it a score, document it, and certify its value. Let's talk condition for a sec. Coins are graded on a scale of 1 to 70. That 1990 D $1,000,000 quarter? It was basically perfect, graded as MS 68 or higher. Mint state coins are ones that have never seen the inside of a vending machine. They're pristine, untouched, basically coin royalty, and here's a quick pro tip. If you're just getting into collecting, go grab a red book, the official guide to United States coins. It's like the Bible for coin hunters, because rarity plus condition equals value. Throw in a unique error and some collector obsession, and boom, you've got $1 million slice of metal. Coins are like art. Or baseball cards. The rarer it is, the more someone's willing to pay. One guy tried to pay for a pizza with a coin that turned out to be worth over 10 grand. The delivery driver used it to pay for gas. The gas station clerk sold it on eBay and probably retired early. The 1990 D Washington quarter. Yeah, most of them are just regular change. But a few rare ones with the right mint errors and flawless condition are absolute gold mines. The next time you get change at the gas station or dig through an old coffee can at grandma's house, take a good look. That quarter could be the key to a brand new truck. Or heck, a house. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting curious, stick around, because we've got tons more coin hunting tips, rare coin stories, and strategies to help you turn spare change into serious cash. Smash that subscribe button, ring the bell, and join the crew. I've got new videos every week with insider info on coins that could be worth thousands or even millions. And remember, fellas, check your change. Because treasure doesn't always come in treasure chests. Sometimes it's jingling right in your pocket. Hey there, coin hunters and pocket change detectives. Let me ask you something. Have you ever held onto a quarter thinking, well, this thing's only worth 25 cents? Yeah, me too. Until one day, I learned that a simple 2001 North Carolina quarter might be worth a whopping $1.4 million. Yep, you heard me right. $1.4 million for a single quarter. That's more than most people make in a decade. Now, before you sprint to your car to dig through the cup holders or rip apart your couch cushions, stick around. I'm going to break down exactly what makes this North Carolina state quarter so special, how to know if you've got the $1 million version. And what happened the day I almost cashed in my own lucky find at a vending machine for a bag of stale pretzels. So grab your magnifying glass, settle in, and let's dive into the world of rare coins that could literally change your life. Alright, let's rewind the clock to the year 2001. Back when flip phones were cool and nobody knew what TikTok was. The U.S. Mint released the North Carolina state quarter as part of the 50 state quarters program. It was the 12th state quarter to be released and featured the iconic Wright brothers' first flight on the reverse side. Now here's where it gets spicy. The version you want to look for has a P Mint mark. That means it was struck in Philadelphia. Over 1 billion of these were made, so naturally most of them aren't worth more than face value. But here's the twist. A very small number of these coins were struck with some pretty wild minting errors that make collectors go bananas. We're talking about double die errors, off-center strikes, and even some that were struck on the wrong metal planchets. Meaning instead of the usual copper-nickel combo, they ended up stamped on foreign metal blanks or experimental compositions. That's like printing money on a banana peel. Rare, weird, and crazy valuable. One particular 2001 North Carolina quarter with a dramatic double die obverse, that's the front side, the one with Washington's profile. That bad boy sold for over $1.4 million at a private auction. Not a joke. Somebody turned their laundry change into a new house, a sports car, and probably a lifetime supply of beef jerky. Now you're probably wondering, okay, smart guy, how do I know if I've got the one? Good question. You're going to need good lighting, a magnifying glass or loupe, and a bit of patience. Look closely at Washington's face, the letters in United States of America, and the word liberty. If you see ghost-like shadows or doubling, that's your cue. Also, check the edges. Some error coins are missing the usual reeded ridges, and others might look just a little off. Don't ignore the weird ones. Sometimes the ugliest coins are worth the most. Like the time I passed over a scuffed-up quarter thinking it was junk and later found out it was a misprint worth a few $100. True story. I dropped it in the return slot of a snack machine at my old job. Still haunts me. I swear that machine's still laughing at me. Now here's the kicker. Even if you don't have the $1 million version, a good quality North Carolina 2001 quarter in mint state can still bring in a few hundred to a couple $1,000s, depending on the grade. That's nothing to scoff at for something you pulled out of your sock drawer, and you don't need to be a millionaire to start collecting. You just need to be curious, persistent, and maybe a little obsessed with digging through change like a raccoon in a trash bin. Welcome to the club. Let me tell you about the time I got hooked. I was at my buddy Dave's garage sale, just rummaging through old junk. I picked up a dusty coffee can full of coins he was trying to unload for $5. I'm talking pennies, nickels, dimes, looked like someone emptied a time capsule in there. He goes, "Take it, I don't feel like counting it." That night, I'm watching late-night TV, dumping coins on my kitchen table like some kind of pirate. And boom, there it was. A 2001 North Carolina quarter with what looked like a doubled, "In God We Trust." I nearly choked on my cereal. I thought I hit the jackpot. Turned out mine was a lesser-known variety, not the $1 million one, but still got it graded and sold it for a few $100. All from a $5 coffee can. And that, my friends, was the start of my coin hunting journey. First, never underestimate the change in your pocket. That boring old quarter might just be your ticket to early retirement. Second, keep an eye out for 2001 North Carolina quarters, especially ones with doubling, off-center strikes, or strange colors and edges. Those are the moneymakers. And lastly, don't be afraid to dive into this crazy, fascinating world of coin collecting. You don't need to be an expert. You just need to start looking. Every quarter you find could be the one. Now, if you enjoyed this video, learned something new, or just want to avoid the tragedy of spending a rare coin on a vending machine burrito, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Ring the bell so you never miss out on my tips and stories about coins worth serious money. And leave a comment if you've ever found something cool in your spare change. Hey folks, imagine this. You're digging through your change jar, probably looking for enough coins to grab a coffee, and bam, you stumble across a quarter. Nothing special, right? Just a regular OL 25 cents. But what if I told you that quarter could be worth $1.5 million? Yeah, you heard me right. A simple 2006 Colorado $quarter coin, minted in Philly, could be your golden ticket. No scratch-offs, no lottery, just cold hard cash from your pocket change. Now, before you toss that coin back into the vending machine, you might want to give it a good look. Because today, we're talking about a coin that's turning heads in the collector world. The 2006 Colorado quarter, and why it could be worth more than a mansion in the suburbs. Stick around, grab your coffee or maybe a magnifying glass, and let's get into it. Alright, let's start from the top. The 2006 Colorado State Quarter is part of the 50 State Quarters program. It was designed to honor each of the 50 states and Colorado's design. It's a beauty, rugged Rocky Mountains, that sweeping skyline, and that classic, colorful Colorado vibe. But it's not just about looks, though it definitely has those too. It's about rarity and condition. Well, first, the P means it was minted in Philadelphia. That's key. Millions were minted, sure, but only a few have what collectors crave, those rare errors, flawless conditions, and even oddities that make the difference between a coin worth 25 cents and one worth $1.5 million. Now let's talk errors. And no, I don't mean accidentally tossing your coin into a tip jar at Starbucks, though that would be a tragedy. I'm talking about minting errors. Some of these Colorado quarters were struck with double dies, some were off-center, and a few even had die breaks that gave them a distinct, unique appearance. Think of it like a birthmark. That little flaw that makes them 1 in a million. You'll notice this on the lettering or sometimes even the mountain ridges. It's like a ghost image, twice the detail, twice the value. Coins that look like they were printed during an earthquake. The design isn't aligned right. High-grade condition, we're talking MS67 and above. That's mint state, almost perfect condition. No scratches, no wear. Just pristine glory. 2006 Colorado quarter with these features? That's where the $1 million magic happens. Especially if it's graded and slabbed by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. Those top-grade coins are fetching jaw-dropping prices at auction. Back in 2019, a guy in Ohio, let's call him Bob, was going through his old coin folder. Just for fun. He was retired, bored, and trying to avoid helping his wife clean out the garage. He stumbles on this shiny Colorado quarter, figures it looks kind of off, sends it off to get graded. It comes back as a high-grade double die with a flawless strike, sold at auction for over $1.5 million. And Bob? He finally remodeled the kitchen and got out of garage duty for life. A couple years ago, I was at my uncle's place, helping him clean out some old boxes in the attic. You know, the kind, dusty, heavy, probably filled with old VHS tapes and mouse droppings. We stumble upon this old coin jar he hadn't touched in decades. I pour it out, more out of boredom than anything, and there it was. A beautiful, shiny 2006 Colorado quarter. I looked at it closer, something looked off. The mountains seemed a little ghostly. The letters were thick, almost doubled. I didn't know much at the time, but I knew enough to throw it in a flip and send it off for grading. Turns out it wasn't worth $1 million. I wish, but it did come back as a nice MS66 with a minor doubling. Still sold it for a few $100, which, hey, paid for gas and tacos for a week. But man, that feeling? It lit a fire in me. I've been checking every quarter I get ever since. Ask my wife, I drive her nuts. Look closely at the words Colorado and E pluribus unum. That's where doubling often shows up. Check the rim and edges. Any cracks, off-center designs, or missing elements could be a jackpot clue. The shinier and cleaner, the better. Avoid coins that look like they've been through the washing machine. If you think you've got a winner, don't guess. Send it to PCGS or NGC. They'll tell you the truth, and that truth could be worth millions. And here's the part where it gets really fun. Coin collecting is kind of like treasure hunting. You never know what's sitting in your junk drawer. Every time you pay with cash and get change back, it's a shot in the dark that could hit the jackpot. It's kind of like playing the lottery, except the ticket costs 25 cents, and you can keep reusing it. Right now, high-grade 2006p Colorado quarters are getting snapped up fast. Collectors are realizing how rare these error coins are. The ones with certified grades in top mint states are especially in demand. The $1.5 million sale wasn't a fluke. It set a precedent. And prices are climbing, so if you're sitting on one of these and haven't checked it yet, now's the time. Coins are hot, and the market's on fire. It's like crypto, but with history, no passwords to forget, and no chance of losing everything because your cat jumped on the keyboard. Alright friends, here's the bottom line. That little 2006p Colorado quarter in your pocket might just be the most valuable thing you own today. It's a simple piece of metal, sure, but under the right circumstances, it can turn into $1 million masterpiece. So go check your change jars, dig through your couch cushions, and raid that old coin collection you inherited from Grandpa. And don't be afraid to pull out the magnifying glass, because the next time you get change back from the gas station, you might just be holding a piece of fortune in your hand. And hey, if this kind of treasure hunting info gets your heart racing like it does mine, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. I've got tons more tips, tricks, and stories about coins that are worth big money. I'll help you spot the winners, avoid the fakes, and maybe, just maybe, help you become the next coin millionaire.